Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here tonight on Why Soul Works. I am Kendall Bird, VP of Brand here at Soul Naturals. And thank you for joining us. Thanks for commenting in. We appreciate that. Tell me, how are you doing with the time change? If you're in an area that has a time change, are you having a struggle with that? If you're like me and you're having quite a bit of a struggle with it, then you'll be thankful for Soul Essentials Lift that we're talking about today. Gives you that lift that you need. Soul Essentials Lift is formulated with oils such as cinnamon and citrus oils that create a warm, uplifting scent that will bring feelings of hope and optimism. SE Lift has antifungal and antiviral properties that, when used topically, will help with your immune system health. You know what? Let's talk about that now on Why Soul Works. Tonight, like I said, we're talking about Lift, and we've got a special guest tonight with us. Her name is Jennifer Pressimone, and Jennifer Pressimone, we are very lucky to have her not only with us tonight, but as our formulator who formulates all of our essential oils blends. We're so lucky to have such a great mind in charge of that, and heart, really. She's a certified clinical aromatherapist and herbalist. She's a formulator, consultant, author, health coach, and speaker. And she's heavily involved with the National Association of Holistic Aromatherapy. She's a busy woman. Please welcome Jennifer Pressimone. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. So thankful that you could take some time out of your busy schedule tonight to talk with us about one of our great oils, Soul Essentials Lift. Now, how are you doing with the time change? They have that in Florida, right?
Yes, we have that. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just missed an hour, but I caught up on it a little bit later. So one of the things we have to do is prepare for that. So if you know it's coming, then you just don't overbook yourself the next day. So,
Yeah.
There's something within our rhythm to help with that.
Yeah. Found myself at lunch today. Lunch seems to be around that midday. I start getting a little down, and I just wanted to smell that lift and get that fantastic smell.
The first one to smell.
Yeah. So it's it's named Lift, and it's perfectly named. You formulated it to our Lift line, with that name in mind. But I think you did such a great job. I think you could take this around to several people and without showing them the name of it, have them smell it and say, what should we name this? And I bet that a lot of them would either say Lift or a synonym very close to that, because it really is that. And so my question is, how do you formulate a product like this that to an emotion or a name that works so well?
Wow, such a great question. I love essential oils, and to me, essential oils are like people. They have personalities. And when I'm formulating, I really want to get a feel for what is the purpose of this blend. And when we first started talking about the Lift blend, of course it complements the Lift category, but we wanted it to really embody everything about Lift, everything about our mind, our body, our gut, on every level. And so really just feeling the purpose and then bringing in my team of essential oils. I created a list. I work with, of course, with a few hundred oils. And so I created my short list. And then the ones in the blend are the ones that made the cut because they lift your mind in every aspect, mentally, emotionally. They lift our body and our body processes and our gut processes so that it can work. It can be inspired to work and have the circulation and the energy to work. So, I think, the biggest thing is just really, what is the purpose? What is the goal? What's the feeling we want this blend to provoke that we can all take away with? So like you said, whoever smells it, that's what they feel and take away from it.
Great. So why don't you tell us what's in it, what makes it special? Tell us about your team that you chose to put in it, and share that with us. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I have put together some visuals for you guys. So what I like is about these blends is we can have a caption. We can have an overall feeling that we get with these blends. And so when I think of lift, it's energizing and liberating to the mind, the body, and the gut to help us adapt and shift and pivot and move with the times and just really to adapt to wherever we are in our mind and in our body, that will bring us comfort and ease. And so if I had a motto for the lift blend, it would be energizing and liberating to the mind, body, gut, so you can adapt with comfort and ease. And when you were explaining what am I going to get from this essential oil blend, I hope that this resonates with you and helps you be able to share, what's so special about the lift blend. Next, we will talk about the story. I told you a little bit, it was meant to complement the herbs in the lift category, and specifically the cinnamate was my inspiration. Having a cinnamon drink, of course, I wanted to have cinnamon in this blend, but how can we pack the rest of the oils? How can we fill that lift team with other essential oils that, what cinnamate does for our body, what lift will do for our nose and our mind. And so really, supporting our gut, our mind, to be able to calm anxiety, because one of the things that the cinnamate does in the lift blend is it really works on gut, lifting our gut to function and lifting that process. And when blood sugar goes awry, it will elevate anxiety. And really just cause panic and hysteria, as well as cravings. And so the oils in here, I wanted it to calm that anxiety, calm those cravings, inspire motivation, bring in warmth, comfort. I wanted you to be wrapped in a hug, just as cinnamon does, to bring safety and security and enjoyment. Because one of the things when blood sugar is imbalanced is you're losing the sweetness in life. You're losing your connection to joy. And so cinnamon, along with the other team members we put in here that we'll talk about in a minute, a lot of the fruits really bring in that sense of enjoyment. And our overall goal is to support the gastrointestinal, the immune, and the glandular system. So this really is going to support our gut functions, give it the energy, helping you connect to the intuition that's in our gut, to inspire and really connect with our inner fire, to support our adrenals so we can keep going and do everything that we do and balance our blood sugar, as well as libido. Libido is connected with the glandular system. And so the scent, if you have it, go ahead and grab it and smell it. You're going to smell the beautiful spicy citrus scent that comes with it. And then, to talk a little bit next on what is special about this particular oil, is when you look at the 5 oils that I put in here, you've got citrus, you've got 3 fruits, and you have a tree. in here. And it really is bringing in that flow, that movement. It's lifting you up in energy, lifting you up in your emotions whenever you feel really bogged down. But then you have a tree in here that's going to help you feel grounded as well. And so you're going to really get that connection to self-nurturing, self-love, that's going to help you foster that a deeper level of healing. I love it to calm cravings. So you think about our food cravings. Whenever we're craving certain foods, whether that's carbs, fats, sugars, or proteins, whatever it is that you're craving, even on an emotional level, craving love, craving connection, loneliness, there's a disconnect there. And so really to calm cravings, not only on a food level, but physical, mental, and emotional, and that social support with it. It's going to help stimulate our blood circulation. So the cinnamon, the fruits, and the tree that's in here is great to stimulate our circulation overall, head to toe, from blood circulation, lymphatic circulation, and creating movement, because your blood is what carries your emotions. Whenever you are stuck and feel lost or disconnected and just overwhelmed, it's because there's a stuckness going on. And so one of the beauty aspects of lift is that it will lift that fog. It's going to lift that heaviness and that overwhelm so that you can move into joy. It's going to be a great oil blend to support the nervous system, to help with stress, anxiety, depression. And then again, this spicy citrus scent ignites your inner fire. It really connects to your passion, your drive, your determination, so that you can persevere and be resilient in everything that you do. So let's look at the team. We can go to the next slide there. And so in this team, we have 5 that made the cut. Cinnamon leaf, because I like the leaf because of the significance of just really being connected and fostering nutrients, which is what we get from the leaf parts of the plant. And so the Cinnamomum xylanceum, we're getting the spice. It's a drying oil. So if you are versed or you're learning about terrain states and tissue states, when you're looking at how can I help myself, is what going on in my body, is it dry or is it wet? So think about a cough. Is it a dry cough or a wet cough? Cinnamon being drying, it's going to help with a wet cough, a lot of mucus and phlegm and that stickiness, especially that happens when allergies come up. Pink grapefruit is going to be, it comes from the fruit. It's a fluid mover, so helping the fluids in our body move. Lime, it's an earthier, tart fruit, and it is very significant of helping us adapt to situations. Sweet orange, it's a fruit that inspires us, and it is a great adaptogen as well. And then Ravenstar being our tree in here, bringing in that camphor note. So we've got the spice, the fruits with a little bit of camphor, which is giving us that big open air hug that we love. So let's look at these a little bit closer. We're going to go into each individual one. That way you really get to know the personality, the way that I've put this together for you. And so the next one we'll look at is cinnamon. And so cinnamon brings in this element of being comforted. I have coined cinnamon as a hug in a bottle. Many of you have heard me say that. It's really just wraps you up in this big bear hug, so you feel comforted, safe, secure, to really help you battle and combat loneliness, being disconnected, or really being disconnected from your worth and your value, feeling unappreciated. This is really a great oil to help you just come into your own and really love yourself first. It ignites that connection to your inner passion and fire. It's helping enhance digestion. So on a physical level, to really stimulate and support and strengthen digestive juices, right? Whenever your digestive juices get flowing, then it generates more enzymes. When you have more enzymes, you're able to digest your food better and absorb the nutrients, utilize those nutrients so that you don't feel starving, which would trigger some of those cravings that you might be having. We know the immune system is in the gut as well. So this really is going to help with digestion, gastrointestinal, and immune. It's a circulation oil. And so one of the contraindications with cinnamon is that it does have blood thinning properties. So for those with very thick blood and you really need to enhance, cinnamon can be your friend. But for those that are taking blood thinners, or if you're going through any kind of surgeries 2 to 3 weeks before and after, you just don't want to use too much lift. You can diffuse it for maybe 5-10 minutes, but not much longer than that, because it does have blood thinning properties, which is why it is a great oil for circulation. And because it stimulates circulation, we know that it's going to help with mental and cognitive faculties as well. Scientifically, we have research showing therapeutic properties of it being antibacterial, antispasmodic, antidepressant, as well as being an antiparasitic. So we know, okay, it has all of these properties: antiparasitic, antidepressant. It's helping. So we know this oil would help with anything. If you're doing certain detoxes and cleanses in the body, it can help with that. So smelling it, bringing in scent, is a good complement to taking your herbs. So when you're drinking your cinnamate, and we're doing this maybe as part of a regular daily regimen or even as a detox, smelling this blend can be helpful. The next oil that I have in here is pink grapefruit, Citrus paradisi. It's very revitalizing, rejuvenating, uplifting. It's a fluid mover, right? And so we go back and we look at ancient history. The Egyptians even said, the root of all disease goes back to fluid moving, especially moving circulation through the heart and the blood and the lymphatic system. And then we can see through all of the other generations historically and medical systems that fluid moving is a huge part to healing. We can't stay stuck. You have to keep moving, physically, mentally, emotionally, environmentally, every level. And so pink grapefruit brings in that movement. Now, a lot of times when you're not feeling joy or enjoyment, it could be because maybe there's bitterness, resentment, anger going on. Pink grapefruit is very specific for that. And so to tie into the element of joy, lifting our mood, lifting our motivation, lifting any heavy burdens, I wanted this oil in here. Great at being a lymphatic decongestant. It's wonderful for the metabolism. Again, we know products in the lift category are going to help with metabolism and glucose regulation. Same thing with the essential oils. So it really is a nice complement, as you'll see. Mental invigoration, combating fatigue, that afternoon fatigue, especially after a time change, jet lag, getting your circadian rhythm off balance, helping with self-doubt, frustration, again, getting those juices flowing, but not only your gastric juices, your creative juices, your decision making whenever you feel stuck and indecisive and wishy-washy. We need fluid movers like pink grapefruit. Scientifically, it has been shown to be an antidepressant, a hepatoprotective, meaning it's going to support and protect liver functions, hypotensive, so it is going to help with blood pressure, lowering high blood pressure, and a diuretic to help flush out any edema and stuckness that's going on in the body. The next oil is lime. And so lime, Citrus medica, it's refreshing and uplifting. It helps us to embrace opportunity and possibilities with excitement versus doubt. That's the big key here, is we can say, just get excited about it. Okay, it's one thing to say it, but how do I do it? I love essential oils in this particular blend because it can be your security blanket in helping you. It can be your best friend. We keep saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Whenever you keep smelling this, that eventually automatically turns into, I know I can. I'm doing it. right? So it's that mindset shift to really bring you to embrace opportunity and possibilities. It helps you feel excited about something, anything new that's coming in inspires you to be positive and look at, okay, yes, there's challenges coming in, and I could look at it I could look at it as, oh my gosh, this is horrible, or this is an opportunity for me to shine. It's an opportunity for me to grow. Lime is so wonderful to do that, especially great during times of change and transition. Wonderful for the immune system, also muscle soreness. So now we're seeing all of the other oils are great too, and lime in particular. So you can mix this in the Soulflex AC cream to be a muscle soreness relief blend. Scientifically, it has been shown to be an antiseptic, astringent, meaning it's going to tighten and tone. So particularly tighten and toning blood vessels. So helping with vein health, vein soreness, that muscle soreness, joint soreness. It's also an antioxidant and febrifuge, meaning heat reducing, fever reducing. So this can be beneficial when heat is rising to help to lower heat that's going on in the body, heat surges, hot flash type of situations. The next oil we have in here is sweet orange, Citrus sinensis. And this is also very rejuvenating and restorative. When I think of sweet orange, the first thing that comes to mind is adrenal support. It's a great adaptogen to help us, especially when you go, and you're constantly giving. Yes, you need to stop and replenish and take care of yourself and have some self-care. This oil doesn't replace that. You need to bring in self-care, but it is going to support you during those times when you are nourishing your adrenals. Your adrenals need some extra love, need an extra hug. It's also a great circulatory oil. Now, if you look at the fruit of orange, we know, has bioflavonoids in it. Now, smelling the essential oil is not going to give you bioflavonoids, but what it can do is we can take the plant signature from that to say, okay, the fruit is helping us with circulation and vein health, using the oil, especially in a topical. So if you were to mix Lift in the Soulflex AC cream and rub that on your legs for the vein health, it's going to bring in an extra support for that. Also great for gut health. I love it for whenever you have a hiccups, you ate too fast, you're not breathing properly, you're breathing from the top too, from your shoulders up here. This is a great blend to bring in to enhance your breathing techniques, especially if you hold your breath or shallow breathe whenever you're stressed out. That's one of the things that taxes the adrenals. So this is the element that this is bringing to this particular blend. It's cheer. It's so cheerful, so much joy to help combat sadness and loneliness and abandonment and just feeling down and depressed. It helps you see the brighter side of lessons and challenges that maybe you're faced with. And scientifically, it's a carminative, which means it's going to help expel gas, that bloating gas, indigestion. So smelling it before, during, and after meals can be beneficial. It's also antispasmodic, helping the muscle spasms, nerve spasms, and antifungal. And then the next, our last oil that is in here is the tree of Ravenstar, Cinnamomum camphora. And so this is really refreshing. It's opening. It's very similar. I always say if eucalyptus and lavender had a baby, it would be Ravensara. So you're really getting that loving, nurturing, calming aspect, but then the energizing, refreshing opening. So it's and just being a balanced camphor. And I wanted that because I wanted this blend to continue to be open and provide that opening of movement and to facilitate that. So it helps you connect to your true identity. That's the specific nature of Ravenstar. Whenever you feel lost, you've lost yourself, you've lost your identity. This is a great oil to help you reconnect to that. Very specific for lung health, respiratory health, muscle and joint pain, immune health. I use it with a lot of autoimmune pains, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, type of issues. It's also a great nervine to help with nerve pain. It helps you focus, to be open to your creative side, to your positive side, enhances productivity. It helps support during times of grief. It is very good. One of my favorite oils to support, we know we hold grief in the lungs. And so any lung and respiratory stuff, this is bringing that in. Cinnamon is also, because it's hugging your body, it's hugging your heart. It's going to also be comforting during times of grief, guilt, feeling suffocated by your circumstances. And scientifically, it has been shown to be antiviral, antibacterial, and immunomodulator, meaning it's going to help regulate and balance immune functions. So I want to leave you with some tips in this next slide to show you some applications and some uses. What can you do? So it's one thing to learn this information about the Lift blend, but now what with it now? So I love to put it in the diffuser. And so you can take and put anywhere from 3 to 6, 7 drops in your diffuser. Now, if you have little kids, we don't need as much. So maybe start with 3 to 4 drops in there. If you have a lot of pets, especially cats, then maybe do 3 to 4 drops in your diffuser. For somebody on blood thinners or having surgery 2 to 3 weeks before or after surgery, then just a little bit, 2 drops, maybe, not a whole lot in there. Otherwise, I love it to really to lift up our emotions and our energy and just help you feel. It's a great way to start your day and end your day with love. Putting it in a nasal atomizer to help combat cravings. You can mix it in a roll-on with sunflower oil to stimulate circulation, or just to smell good, to also have a combat craving or to help you through emotions. Now, if you are going to do a roll-on, just be careful you don't do really thick oils. I know I recently got a question, can I use castor oil in the roller balls? And that can be too thick. So don't use a castor oil in a roll-on. But having it in a massage oil would be great. And I would love to mix that with the Healing AC cream or with the Solflex AC cream, because it's so healing to any wounds or any trauma that you have to the skin, but also to really support muscle and joint health as well. You can make a room deodorizer, a welcoming atmosphere, because cinnamon, they say, is a great way to diffuse when you're trying to sell a house or you're having an open house or a party, to bring people in and help them feel welcomed. So this is a perfect blend when you're welcoming people into your life and into your home. So this is a few ways that you can use and apply the Lift blend. And so, Kendall, I'll turn it back over to you and see if anybody has any questions.
Thank you. There was a question, and I wanted to answer that. They asked if you could ingest the oil, and they aren't for to take internally. They're for aroma or to put on the skin. And even if you put it on the skin, you should put it in a carrier oil to dilute that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of the information that we're sharing is for topical use only. When you get into ingestion, that really needs to be more on a professional level, because there's a lot of contraindications, especially with this particular blend. You really have to know anatomy and physiology. You really have to know the health conditions that somebody's in. And so when you apply it in a carrier, because if you were to put this on the skin, it is going to cause, because there's cinnamon in here, it can cause some skin irritation. So you do not want to use it undiluted. You want it to be in a carrier. And that's why I love the Solflex AC cream as the carrier, because it's not going to do that. But anytime you put that on the skin, it is a form of ingestion. It's a topical ingestion. You're going to get that into the body. There's really not a reason that you would need to ingest, this particular oil.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I learned a lot tonight. I loved a couple of things that you said. One thing that kind of struck me is you were talking about cinnamon, and you said it calms cravings, and you would think that would be the last word you'd use. to describe lift because it is so lifting. But yeah, it calms those by taking away those cravings, which I thought was kind of
Well,
fun.
it lifts your digestive ability to absorb, therefore reducing your cravings. When you're craving, that's because you're not absorbing nutrients on some level. And so I love this to stimulate those gastric juices and enhance and elevate the gastric function so that, yes, you can calm those cravings.
I love it. And you talked about a lot of different ones of pieces in the formula, ingredients in the formula, move or about moving the blood and the emotions and that I love that is the case. And what's really interesting to me is that each one of these ingredients is fantastic, but when you've put them together in a way that the synergy from the group of them is much greater than the parts themselves. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. That's what the blends are about, is really creating that synergy, bringing that team together to get you a synergy so they all work together. They all have their roles and they all have their special uniqueness, but together, they're fire. I mean, it's great, and that's one thing that this oil does is really connect you to that inner fire. So it's a good way to remember, how this can help you.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight and educating us on this very important subject of oils and for talking about SE Lift. I've learned a lot tonight. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Have a
We'll see you
wonderful
later.
day.
Now, our next episode of Why Soul Works is on March 26th. Put that on your calendars. Don't miss that. I've had a really good time tonight listening to Jennifer and learning from her, and I hope you did too. And we'll see you next time on Why Soul Works.